Hello and welcome to Experiencing Love. I'm your host, Philip Jocks, and I'm so glad that you're here. When in doubt, return to love. That's sort of how I'm feeling right now. That's how I want my general reactions to be. When all else fails and I don't quite know what else to do, I can just return to a mindset of love. I was asked earlier today, how do you love someone when they've done something to really hurt you? How do you love someone who's actively hurting you? And I get it. Loving the people who've hurt us is not an easy thing to do. I won't sit here and claim that it is. And I know that anybody who's committed to love and who does the work to love even those who've hurt us always earn a deep level of respect from me. Not only respect, but they also earn my gratitude, because I find that practicing love, especially those that I believe need it the most, is rare. So here's how I answered that question. Here's how I thought about it. I first was just thinking about love in general, a very broadened view of love. And I came to my own conclusion that love is not just an emotion. Love is a state of being. I've mentioned that before. To me, love is a state of being because while it is an emotion and you can feel love, I also believe it to be a muscle or a skill like a muscle that you can build. And you can build it through using it, through practicing it. And you can also lose it if you don't use it. To me, love is so much more complex. There's so many more dimensions than just saying it's an emotion. From this train of thought, from this thinking came the question, well, how do you practice love? How do you learn to love others when they've hurt you? And when I really thought about it, I realized that I think it's easy to make a jump, to skip steps in practicing love and in giving love. Because when I hear the question, how do you love someone who's hurt you? It makes me wonder, well, do you love all the people who haven't hurt you? Why jump to loving a person who's causing you pain when you haven't yet loved the person who hasn't done anything to you? I think we want to love the person who's hurt you because usually in some way that person who's hurt you is close to you. It may be a close family member, or it may even be just close proximity, like a coworker or someone you see pretty often. So I understand this priority of wanting to love the people closest to us who have hurt us. I also believe it's a good goal to strive for. It's not impossible. It's actually very possible. And it just takes a little bit of practice. When it comes to the practice of love, I think the key is not to start with proximity, but to start with how that person makes you feel. So this can be your closest family, or it can be just a random stranger on the street. But you should start with learning to love those people in your life that are kind, that are helpful, respectful, and that love you. Because those are the easiest people to love. It's part of that ability to love someone conditionally. Unconditional love is much more difficult to reach, while also not impossible. But again, it takes practice. And so, if you want to reach the point where you're able to really give love, real love, true love, to someone who's hurt you, start with those people that make it easy to love them, and slowly work down the list, down the scale of emotions. Maybe after loving those who are extremely loving first and who are kind, you then start practicing love on those who maybe aren't so kind, but they're also not mean. They're not terrible. This might just be the random stranger in passing, one who maybe they're having an all right day. Maybe they gave a compliment to their barista, so they have a small smile on their face. What the heck? Practice sending love to them next, to that level of people. And again, during this entire time, you can weave in the people you already know. You could weave in the people you already love. You could weave in those closest to you, depending on how that person makes you feel. And eventually, the more you do this, the easier it gets. I can promise you that. Reaching that point where you can just look at a stranger and genuinely say and believe the words "I love you" simply because they are a human, and you understand that as a human they have a past, they have a story, they have a struggle, and they, like everybody else, are just looking for love. They're looking to be loved, to love. You give them grace, you give them patience, you give them compassion. All of this becomes easier and easier with time and with intention. When it comes to loving someone that hurt you, I'd say it depends on a few circumstances. Because are they hurting you currently, or have they hurt you in the past? I believe if someone is currently hurting you, your first priority should be giving yourself that love. Protect yourself. Love yourself. Create some space. Love does not mean sticking around and hurting yourself or letting someone else hurt you. It can result in that sometimes, but those are the exception, not the rule. I understand that there are some circumstances where someone can or can't leave a relationship. And in those cases where they can't leave a relationship, it's hard to just say, put space, make distance. So with everything I say, there's caveats and there's help to be requested, help to be given with each exception, each of these scenarios. That being said, if I were to generalize it, I would say prioritize yourself first. Fill your own cup first. If there's anything that I've ever learned about love, it's that love is really easy to give when you're filled with love and very difficult to give when your cup is empty. No one can fill your cup but you. No matter how much love you give to another person, you cannot fill their cup. If they are lacking love in their life, you are not going to fill that hole. They need to learn to fill that hole themselves. The love from others is sometimes like the icing on the cake. The icing tastes good. It feels good, but it's very light and fluffy. It doesn't have that density. It won't fill you up. For that, you need the cake itself. You are your own cake. Everybody else is their own cake. It's really important that you know how to love yourself first and foremost and know what to do, what's best for you. Because it's only when your cup is full, when you are at your best, that you can give your best. Maybe you think you're giving your best from a place of feeling run down, but I promise you there is a better version of you. There is a higher level, one that maybe is more loving, is more giving, is more kind, is more compassionate, is more playful. And instead of trying to force that level, you can easily tap into it by just giving yourself the love that you need, asking for it, finding it, but not expecting it from other people. You start off by loving yourself, then you love those around you. I always thought about it like this. When we're born as humans and we're in this little baby form, we are so immensely selfish. We have to be for our own survival. Yes, there's a level of bonding and connection and love with a parent, but as a baby, first and foremost, that baby is looking to survive. It understands that it cannot survive without that connection to their mom. Eventually, as a baby grows older, it learns to become a little bit more independent. It learns to crawl, then walk. It learns to speak and ask questions, use its hands, look around, find stuff. And the more independent a baby and then a child becomes, the more it's able to be less egocentric, less all about themselves, and can start including other people into their lives. With practice, that goes from your closest people to further circles, and then even further circles until to most people it looks like just strangers. But to you, it can be your local community. It could be small things like we're from the same state, we're from the same country if you're traveling. And then you could get to the point it's just the whole world, where you look at someone and say, you're a human. I'm a human, you're a human, we're one and the same. That to me is where love starts. This is something that needs to be practiced. It's not a level you reach and you unlock and you have it. No, it's something that needs to be maintained again and again. And as for myself, as someone who self-proclaims to practice love all the time, or at least tries to, I often lose touch with it. That's the truth, really. I would love to say that I'm better at it, and I know that'll come with time because this focus of love, of experiencing love, is truly only a couple months old. I only really started to dive into it, well, I guess now it's 6 months ago, and it only happened when I had this really powerful experience. In this experience, I connected with so many parts of my past through the lens of love, seeing how I was shaped by love for my entire life. I've been raised to love. I imagined my life. I imagined every memory that I can think of. And in this exercise, I imagined what it would be like from God's perspective. What would it be like for God to be looking down on me in all of my greatest moments and all of my worst ones, and really asking, really wondering, what might God have been thinking? Or what did God want for me in that moment? And with this powerful theme of love and experiencing love, I started to believe that every single thing I went through was a bid for love. It was a nudge towards love. I had this memory of playing in my backyard in this little kiddie pool with my aunt and my mom, and there's this tiny slide. And I remember this overwhelming sensation of love. I remember parts of the backyard that I was seeing, and I come to find out that this memory was from when I was no more than 2 years old. My next earliest memory after that was right before preschool, being terrified to go, hiding behind my couch, being lured out from behind said couch by the safety of my mom, only to then go, start playing with the toys, getting introduced to all these different kids, and turning around to see my mom leaving, going out the door. And I sprinted towards this door. And at the time, I didn't quite understand push or pull doors. I know that now in hindsight, because I have never quite pushed a pull door so hard. I got to the door before it was fully closed, and I helped close it. And I remember that day so clearly, getting picked up by one of the lovely teachers there, one of the lovely caretakers, and looking out that front window, that window of the door, and seeing my mom walk away, feeling so much hurt, so much pain, wondering why she would leave me. Why is this happening? At this time, I was just about 3 years old, maybe a little bit older. And I've talked about this before to family and friends, and they asked me how I could remember these things. And they were wondering if maybe from that first event when I'm less than 2 years old, maybe I saw some pictures or some videos. Maybe I did see a picture, but I know there's no videos. But that second one, from when I was 3, I know there is no pictures from that. I know there is no videos. I just know that I felt it. I carried around that pain for a long time. And this experience that I had 6 months ago really showed me how that could have been a moment of love. I first saw my mom's love for me. I saw my love for her. I saw how much I didn't want to go, how much I wanted to be with her and around her. And I also saw her love for knowing that she needed to go. She needed to let me go and for me to start that journey, to start separating. And with this exercise, there's the third perspective of what was God thinking? What was God feeling? And I truly believe to this day that God looked down on me, looked down on that moment, and just had a fantastic grin, knowing just how much I needed that moment to become who I am right now, who I am today, and who I will be in who knows how many years. From then on, I went from memory to memory, seeing God's point of view for every single thing that's happened to my life. Either it was an experience where I felt deep love and deep connection, or every time I felt hurt, it was a moment that taught me to cherish love, to value love, to show me how much I wanted love, to crave love. Eventually, love is all I've ever seen. Love is all I've ever felt. It's just whether I thought I was gaining it or losing it. But it was always about love. It was always there. I used to say that I became a being of love. But in reality, I've always been one. I've always been a love bug. I've always wanted it. And then I learned to see a smile, give a smile. To see love, give love. It's not about just wanting love. It's about seeing that if I want love, I need to give love first. If I want to feel more love, I need to give more love. I need to share more love. I need to experience more love. And at this current stage of my life, I see myself as somewhat awakened to my love, and only have been for the last 6 months. These last 6 months have taught me more about myself and have pushed me further outside of my comfort zone than the last 22 and a half years combined. I sometimes wonder, what will my life be like 22 and a half years from now if I continue this and I just embrace love and follow it, see where it takes me? Where will love lead me? Where will God guide me? I will never know right now, but I will later. So, while I wait to see the outcome, I do things now to best prepare myself for that life later. Because that version of myself needs a lot of love. It needs a lot of giving of love. Right now, some of the things I'm most dealing with, I'm most facing, is figuring out who I am. Figuring out who I want to be and what I want to put out there, what I want to give to the world. I struggle with this because there are still lots of doubts. There's lots of doubts to the specifics. I don't know what's going to work out. I just want things to work out. And then there's just these moments, these times where I see, oh, it's about love. I've been able to figure out the last 6 months. So that means I'll be able to figure out the next 6 months. Just keep loving. People will knock on your front door when you keep professing the love that you have to give. I believe everyone is like that, or everybody has that opportunity. Because if you keep sharing with the world that you have love to give, people will come. People will come because everybody wants to be loved. Everybody wants to feel love. And sometimes they need the taste of love from another person for them to learn to love themselves. And when you can teach someone to be self-sufficient in love, then you've created another beacon, another well of love for the world to share. Love is contagious. True love, real love. Not the superficial kind, not the kind found in movies or TV shows or even in books. That kind of love that can't be put into words, but it's just a feeling. It's just a sensation. It's just a state of being. That type of love is contagious. I love how I just said that. This type of love can't be put into words, and yet I'm here recording a video, recording this podcast, talking about this type of love. It's almost like I know I'll never be able to properly explain it. I could just hope that something that I say or do, something that I share, sparks a thought within you. It plants a seed. And for that true love to grow, something big needs to happen. You don't have to make it happen. Life will make it happen. But sometimes you just have to be on the lookout for it. Maybe all you have to do is ask. I'm really happy to return to love, especially in my moments when I'm feeling the most doubt. I thank you for being here. I really do. If you've made it this far, well, you must really be committed to loving yourself and loving more in the world. And I'm really grateful that you are. I'm really grateful that you're committed. In my bio and on my Linktree, there's a link to schedule a call. If ever at all you're feeling unsure or uncertain about anything, any area of your life, it could be your health, your relationships, it could be something to do with your job, finances. If there's anything that has you feeling fear more often than love, give me a call. Let's get something going. I want to help. I want to share my insights. And it might not solve all your problems, but maybe it's enough to just give you direction so you know what you should do next. Anything that helps you get to your next level, to feel love more often. Remember to always fill up with the love, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one. I love you.